This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are right now. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of INCRadio New York. I'm Sister Abby Hidalgo, your host for today's episode. And with me today, we have Brother Lance, who is, currently preparing for another activity later on today. But we will hear his insights on our today's topic. It's Saturday morning here on the East Coast and about 11:32 in the morning. And we are kind of in Connecticut for us. It's kind of drizzling, again, kind of gloomy. We just got over, a little bit of a heat wave earlier on this week, and it cooled off surprisingly. And we're I don't know, for me, I'm enjoying the cooler weather. So hopefully wherever you are right now, it's a little bit more warmer or cooler or, less gloomy. The sun is shining and you're able to enjoy the outdoors. It is again June, so it is the summer months for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And, it comes, summer, it comes with, sometimes a kind of pressure. Like we're supposed to be making the most out of every minute, maximizing our plans, perfecting our routines, getting in shape, leveling up because, this is, people are done with school. They have some break and weather is a little bit nicer. So we feel the need to be a little bit more productive. But, what if self-care this season look like less, not more? So on today's episode of INCRadio New York, we will be talking about summer self-care that isn't about productivity. Instead, it's the kind that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and feel more like yourself. So for those in the YouTube live chat, share with us if you had one unscheduled summer afternoon, how would you spend it with no pressure to be productive? Um, for me, I don't know, for those who are working, summer is not really summer, right? You are still working. You do sometimes take those family vacations or a week or two off from work in the summertime because, if you have kids or other like family members that are done with school, that's kind of your time to, take some time off. But usually if in the summer, if I have an unscheduled afternoon, it's usually trying to catch up on life. But if it's like something for myself, I usually just like to sit and just relax and decompress my mind and also, enjoy the outdoors. Cause, in the Northeast, it's very rare that we have like nice warm weather. Like most of the time, especially in the winter time, it's very cold and rainy. So you tend to be stuck indoors. And also in the springtime, for those who have allergies, you tend not to go outside because of the pollen. Even though in the summer it's a little bit better with the pollen, but some people still have those seasonal allergies in the summertime. So please share with us what like what would you do on an unscheduled summer afternoon? I know also with parents, you have like those afternoon activities with your kids, right? Like the swimming lessons or any type of lessons, like camps and whatnot. But if you don't have anything planned, share with us. How would you spend it? I don't know if Brother Lance has any input. Like, what would you do, Brother Lance, if you had a unscheduled summer afternoon? I don't know if he's ready. He's probably still setting up. Or hi, Brother. Oh,
I mean, sorry,
no,
I'm
it's
setting up
okay.
still.
You're setting up. Okay. Just quickly share with us, Brother Lance, what would you do in an unscheduled afternoon?
On a scheduled afternoon, I'll probably take a nap. And then probably do my to-do list, especially if I have free time. I try to accomplish all my to-do lists in those unscheduled afternoon. Or if anything, go out if it's nice enough weather outside, if it's not raining, especially now it's summer. And if it's not
Mm.
super hot, warm weather where it's too warm outside to go out, and then I try to go outside and walk because you still need exercise. It's free gym currently, so that's a good way to take advantage of the outside.
Yes, I agree. Like, take advantage of the outdoors, especially since in the Northeast we have very few good, nice days to be outside. Um, so, question to you, Brother Lance: how would you spend your summer mornings? I know we're all working, so our summer mornings are a little bit more, still going to work. Um, for me, it's really early, so my summer mornings are pretty in the weekdays. Monday through Friday is pretty busy getting ready for work. How about you, Brother Lance? What are your summer mornings like?
Yeah, it's the same for me. Cause I still have Monday to Friday work, so most of the time I try to go to work before 10 if I can wake up early enough. Because I try to avoid the morning traffic also. Although we don't have like New York City style of traffic, Rochester still tend to get busy from like 8 to 9:30, and you just have a
Mm.
bunch of drivers who doesn't know how to drive. So I try to avoid that as much as possible and wait it out. Because after 9:30 ends, uh, the rush hour traffic tends to die down, and I can drive pretty smoothly to work without having to be in a hassle.
Oh,
Apart from that, on a Saturday, Sunday, of course, we have worship service on Sunday, so I wake up early. But on Saturday, I try to sleep in because it's the only time I can catch up to sleep. Uh, yeah, and
okay.
especially, but even though you can catch up to sleep on Saturdays, it's hot in the summer, so it's hard to sleep in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I'm on the opposite end of the rush hour. I have to get to work by 7 in the morning, so I'm usually leaving my house around like 6:20 because it takes me about like a good 40-minute drive to get to work. So it's like, but there's no traffic. But in the school days, there's a little bit of traffic because of the school buses. So I have to know when the school bus schedule is, so I can kind of leave later or leave earlier. But in the summertime, usually at that time, there's not much traffic, and I'm always rushing because I have to wake up early, and sometimes you just don't want to wake. I just don't want to wake up at like 5:30, 5:15. Um,
How many times do you hit the snooze button at Abby?
Oh, multiple times. I'm one of those. I have two alarms. I have one for like 5:45, no, 5:15. I snooze it for like 30 minutes. It's really bad. And then like 6 o'clock, that's like my latest. And then I'm always rushing. So I brew my coffee, I shower, and then by the time all that's, I'm like running out the door. Um, so I'm always rushing in the morning, but in the weekends, like you, Brother Lance, I try to sleep in. But my body clock, since I always wake up early on the weekdays, I'm still waking up around like 6 o'clock, 6:30, and that's like sleeping in for me. But I usually like lie in bed until like 8 o'clock, and then from 8 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I should get up and start my day. And then on Sunday, it's like kind of the same thing. You know, I wake up early-ish for worship service, but usually weekends is my sleep, my like, it's early for some people, but it's my sleeping in day until like 8 o'clock.
Do you stay up on the weekends at the Abbey? Because I know for me, like Friday nights, It's the only time I can consume on all my internet or like social media and like have the downtime to watch streaming videos and stuff.
Yeah,
So do you stay up on some weekends?
I do actually like the I really am not sleeping very well in general because I like even in the weekdays like I technically should be in bed by like 10 p.m. the latest, but I have so like catching up on other stuff, and I do try to take an hour to decompress before I go to bed so I won't be too wired when I'm in bed, and by the time that happens it's already like 11 o'clock. So
Yeah,
like I rarely go to bed after midnight. Like midnight's really the cutoff. But yeah, I do try to stay up just to catch up on like streaming services, like shows that I like to watch when I have time, and just make sure that everything is in my like cleaning. I guess I need to clean too occasionally, but yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Especially now, there's a new season of a very famous show back on one of the streaming services.
oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
I unfortunately am on another streaming service. But I've heard about that. So yeah, eventually maybe I'll switch over. I have to, weigh what shows I would like to still keep up with. Other than watching like TV and, and streaming shows, um, are there any other creative stuff that you've done recently, like just for fun, just like kind of other hobbies that you have done in the past or currently, Brotherlands?
yeah. I actually like got a 3D printer something around I think November, right before Thanksgiving or American Thanksgiving. So I've been playing around with that. It's actually a very cool thing because like instead of me buying like toothbrush cases or like a toothbrush stand, you can just straight up like find files on the online or like their services. There's a whole server of like 3D printing files, and
Oh,
you can just straight up print it on the printer and have looking thing like wait maybe at most I waited like 4 hours. Or like, usually like a lot of the small things like if you're printing a phone stand that takes like an hour to print, and instead of me like going on to like a store to buy a phone stand or like going online to buy a phone stand, straight up just print it at home now.
oh, that is so cool. Like I've seen those 3D printers, and I always it's so much fun to like create stuff, and they're like useful
Yeah,
too, and they're sturdy. They're not like like I like DIY kind of activities. I used to do a lot of knitting, making basically scarves or blankets, which is like the easiest. It's like a square or rectangle. But yeah, that's pretty fun. So we should like I would like to pick your brain on how this 3D printer
yeah.
kind of
It's
works.
it's nowadays they're fairly simple, but maybe we will have this another discussion for a topic. But they're getting fairly cheap, so for anyone who wants to get into 3D printer, uh there's there's variety of them. You can get into an entry model for like less than $100, and you can go all the way to up to like $1,000, depending on how extreme or how delicate the 3D printer you want it or how advanced it is. So it's up to
Mm.
you. They're getting fairly cheap nowadays, and you can find used ones on like marketplace online for like I think one of the brethren here or one of the Kadiwas found one for like $50. So
Oh
if there's
wow.
anyone interested,
Yeah.
you can get that fairly cheap nowadays since a lot of people tend to do it as a business also.
Uh-huh.
And then at some point they probably switch and sell them because they need a more advanced one. But if you're
Mm.
just getting into it, you can probably find a used one, and
Yeah.
they're fairly cheap.
And like used stuff, you can like why like if it's not necessary to buy a new one, or if you don't have one
Yeah,
specifically that you want, um yeah, you save money and it's still a decent quality item, and that's pretty fun. That's pretty interesting. I should look into that. um Next question, Brother Lance. Well, for me, or for everyone, do you find that you spend more time on your phone during the summer? I personally don't. Like if because I'm usually out and about and I'm like with people, or I'm with like hanging out with people. So I'm rarely on my phone unless it's like for taking pictures, capturing the moment, or like we're just, I have to communicate something quickly, but I'm more on my phone for work because a lot of my communication with my attendings or the people I work with is through like the text messages. So I'm always on my phone during the workday or on other times. But in the summertime, I'm usually not really on it. I try to like disconnect. I don't know about you, Brother Lance.
Yeah, I mean, the phones are very easy to have, but in the summertime, I did try to stay away from it because most of the winter time we're on our phone because you can't you can't really go out much. So in the summertime, I try to enjoy the whole weather if I'm out. The only time I'm probably on my phone is probably if I'm at work, just watching videos, just
Mm.
to have something on the background. But apart from that, yeah, or searching something on the marketplace again to find something used. Because there's so much things. But apart from that, I try to stay away from phones because it's the only time you really can get out, especially up here in the northeastern seaboard area, where we get like 6 months or 8 months that's winter. And we
I
barely
know.
get we only get like a limited amount of summertime. So as much as possible, I try to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and especially upstate and like in the Northeast, we have a lot of, like hiking trails or, we can do a lot more things outdoors. So sometimes you don't have connection to data or you don't have connection to the internet or whatnot. So and like we have like nice naturey stuff and, you can like see animals. Like recently I saw a bear on one of my walks, which was kind of scary because you're supposed to be it was a black bear and you're supposed to
Yeah.
be really loud if I remember correctly and they like get scared or whatnot. And then you can see like foxes. We always have squirrels, chipmunks. I've seen a lot of rabbits recently, and like if you're always down looking at your phone, you miss those like I don't want to say rare occurrences of seeing wildlife, but like you can also miss some like cool stuff. But yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's camping season also, so I heard just be careful if you are going outdoors. I heard the ticks and bugs
mm,
are a lot higher because of those how hot we got early in the summer.
yes. Yes, it's apparently in the north. I actually don't know how. For our area, we're like be very vigilant about looking after like you're outside or outdoors, looking through your hair, your neckline, your back, any like crevices for ticks. And if you find a tick, you should call your provider to see what you need to do. Sometimes, if it's less than a certain amount of time, you don't need any antibiotics or whatnot or treatment. But if you see like a tick bite like a couple of days later or like you are starting to feel some symptoms, then you should see your provider to get tested. Also, I know it's hot, but if you're going to go hiking, I think it's best to wear long pants and then you put your socks over your pants so that they don't crawl up, into your pant legs. So I know it's hot, but you can find like breezy, breathable pants that won't make you hot when you're like exercising or going hiking.
Yeah, I heard the tip also to put like tape around your like sock line so
Mm,
that like all the ticks just sticks onto it
yeah.
instead of like biting into you.
Yeah, and like use bug spray, also use bug spray to
Yes.
prevent them like bug repellent that will also prevent it. And if you have animals, like I always find unfortunately ticks on my dog when we go out walking, but I always check him before we, enter the our house so that I won't bring ticks in. But sometimes you can miss some things, but for your pets, talk to your vet about like tick and flea prevention as well to keep your furry friends also safe. But yeah, I guess next question. For New York's hustle culture, we're always out and about and feel like we need to be productive even on days we could have rested. How important is it to create boundaries when it comes to chores or projects, etc.?
Yeah, especially up here where there is so much hustling and bustling. We do need to get some sort of a timeline between the days of your like just day to day time, so that you can A sec, I'm just gonna move around real quick. Someone's going through. Anyways, but yeah, you have to have set boundaries with your time, especially if people are constantly asking you to do things. I think you gotta know your limits of like what you can do in a day, rather than saying yes to all. It's very easy to just commit to everything, but at the end of the day, you're stressing out yourself also if you can't like accomplish any of those things that you committed to. So for me, I try to know or have a balance of what I can commit to, and also have the free time throughout the day to do what I need to do for myself. Or like if I have to do things in the house, especially now it's summertime, there's a lot of things that you see in the house that needs to be fixed, like painting things outside, mowing your garden or mowing your lawn, and taking out the weeds out. Apparently, gardening takes a lot of time,
Oh, yes,
and like
Brother Lance.
manicuring and landscaping is a very big thing, especially if you live in the suburbs. You gotta keep the household value up.
Yeah. Um, I agree with you, Brother Lance. Like you can't do it all, and if you try to do it all, you really will burn yourself out, and then you'll feel kind of stressed more, I feel like, and the work that you commit yourself to probably won't be your best work. And then you'll also feel more disappointed in yourself that you didn't put your all your effort in, because you're just doing things just to get it done because you have a lot of commitments. And yeah, I don't know about you, Brother Lance, but some people like mowing their lawn because that's their decompression and they enjoy doing outdoor house maintenance stuff. I personally don't. And like because I'm kind of miserable when I'm mowing my lawn because it's hot, I get sweaty, and my lawn is very small, so it's not really that labor
Yeah,
intensive, but it's just the process. And then you
yeah,
see
it is.
things and then you're like, oh, that needs to get weeded. And then the weeds, are a little tough to remove. So they're not as easy as you think. And then you try to use the weed killer and it still doesn't work. And it just gets frustrating overall.
Yeah, yeah, it's very hard. I mean, we only have push lawnmowers, so it's even extra harder at home.
Mm,
Uh, if I had a riding lawnmower, I probably would enjoy it because you just stand there and let the machine do itself. But when you gotta push like the lawnmower up the hill, that's a whole different ball game.
yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, and then like, yeah, it just help me house maintenance things. It depends on
Yeah,
your what you like to do, but I personally do not enjoy that. I don't mind actually cleaning and organizing my inside the house. Like that's also my decompression time as well. Like, putting things where they're supposed to be, vacuuming and whatnot. And but at the outdoors, it's kind of for me is a little bit more miserable. But and last question to round it out. If
yeah.
someone's listening and feeling burnt out or stuck in the hustle mode, what's one small way they could start practicing this kind of self care?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think for me, create a to-do list on your day so that you know what to do on a everyday task that you do have, and try to at least like if it's 7 days a week. If you're off on weekends or off on the weekdays, make sure you have one day where it's set dedicated for yourself and where you're not committed to doing
Hmm.
other things for other people also, since you need time for yourself also. As much as we want to share our time with others, you also need time alone to do things that you like to do, especially your hobbies, because um, especially nowadays if you get caught up in work, it gets very busy. After you get out of work, you're more likely tired and you just want to take a nap or take a sleep or get rest immediately, so you don't have time to do your chores, so or your hobbies, I guess. So as much as possible, try to set a time in the day where you have boundaries, where you don't commit to anything, and it's set for yourself to do what you like to do, because it's important that you accomplish what you like to do. It's important to have the creativity still in your mind, even though you have regular working hours and you're committed to other things in life, but you still have to have that determination to do what you like on your own time, so that you can set those boundaries again and have the time to do what you like, because that's very important to have.
Yeah, I mean, just for personal experience as well, like sometimes when you give yourself to everyone else, sometimes lose a sense of yourself. Like you feel like you lost yourself, and you kind of are questioning who you are, what you actually like, because you don't really know who you are as a person anymore because you've been prioritizing other people. And life goes by fast. Like I remember when I was in my 20s, and I was like, oh, I have my life ahead of me. I'm just starting my career. I did this and this. I have all the time in the world when you're younger, but life flies by. Now we're like, if you actually think about it, like midlife is technically maybe in your 30s, late 30s
Mhm.
into your 40s, because the average lifespan is 70s or 80s. So you're like, right, I'm in my midlife.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting to
especially,
think about.
yeah,
And then like you don't have all the time in the world, like, so make those plans to see your friends or go travel or eat at that one restaurant that you've been seeing to do, or hike that trail that you really wanted to do, because you may not have the time when you're older, and
yeah,
health problems may come along and you can't be as active as you once were. So do like try to build out time in your schedule if you're very type A, that like a Saturday afternoon, this is my time and I don't have anything else, and I this is what I want to do. And make sure that you say no. It's okay to say no to other people, because you also have to take care of yourself. Like, how can you take care of yourself, if you're how can you take care of other people or do other things if you can't take care of yourself? So I guess those are our life wisdoms
yeah.
as being older
Especially,
people.
especially for the young ones, don't make fun of those old people who's like, oh, they don't have time anymore to do things for fun. Uh, when I was young, I was like, oh, it's so easy to just go to the gym. Why can't old people go to the gym? Now that I'm
Yeah,
in that
no,
age, it's
we
like, you don't have time.
you don't have
So for the young
time.
ones, yeah, enjoy your time while you have it. Don't stress too much on your future. Just enjoy what's currently in the moment and take that into heart, because the older you get, the less time you have for yourself.
Yeah. Don't grow up too fast. You have
Yes,
you
exactly.
have time but you don't, but just enjoy your summers. Take time. Don't feel like you have to go too much ahead. You'll get there eventually. Anyways, I think we're good
Yes,
for our topic. It's almost that time of the show, but that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to the church administration for giving us a platform like this to share and speak about important topics like these. Don't forget to catch us again next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, or Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Philippine Time. Greetings to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and our current Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo. Also, greetings to our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Taray, and our executive producer, Kuya Manley and Daya, and to our district staff, Brother Sheridan Santos, our district minister, our assistant district minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omelda, our CFO advisor, Brother Jason Flores, our district multimedia advisor, Brother Christopher Ornedo. And this brings us to the end of our show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And we'll see you later. Happy birthday to all those celebrating today. I think it's Sister Susan and Brother Cliff from Wyndham. And congratulations to those who got baptized today. Have a good night. Good morning.
okay, everybody, enjoy the summer.
Yes, enjoy the summer.
If you're down under, it's, I think, winter time.
Yes.
So you can't enjoy your summer if you're there. Just enjoy the winter, I guess.
Yes.